Before we begin the show, I have a quick announcement. If you're like a lot of our listeners, you've already proven that your course can sell. You've got a few successful launches under your belt, but something is still missing. Maybe you're tired of doing everything yourself, scared to waste money on ads that might not convert, or just feeling stuck trying to scale beyond six figures without it becoming another job. Listen, I get it. After running ads for course creators and coaches for over 10 years, I have seen firsthand that throwing more money at ads or working harder isn't the answer. That's exactly why I created the Launch Lounge 30 Days Intensive. Here's the deal. Over 30 days, my team and I will dive deep into your business data. We'll create your customized launch strategy and give you a clear roadmap to scale without the hefty ongoing agency fees. You'll get two 90-minute strategy sessions with me personally, a comprehensive audit of your entire business, and a customized plan guaranteed to increase your profits in 2025. Yes, you heard that right. If you follow our plan and you don't see profitable results, you'll get your money back. Ready to turn your knowledge into a true freedom empire? One that lets you take Fridays off for that 10 a.m. Pilates class while your business keeps growing? Visit thelaunchlounge.com/intensive to apply. We only have 2 spots available this December, so if you want one of them, apply now. Hello, and welcome to episode number 220. In today's episode, you are going to learn everything you need to know to prepare your ads for Meta's new Advantage AI suite of products. I'm going to explain exactly what that is, and you will leave the show feeling confident to navigate all the upcoming changes in your ad account. I was looking inside my ad account the other day to see exactly when I created my pixel and when I set up my first ad. And I can see that I set up my very first pixel in 2025, and I see the person's name there written as like who created it, right? So Meta records these things. And I remember looking at I think that it wasn't business manager yet. We still had, there was ads manager, and then there was later on something else came that then became business manager. But anyway, I looked at the ads manager and I was completely overwhelmed, and I had no idea how to navigate this tech side of things. And I remember so clearly at the time also trying to build a website on WordPress. And I remember somebody saying to me, you just get OptimizePress and it's super easy. That's how you build a website. And I literally just bought OptimizePress and was like, okay, what now? Had no idea. So I was in that phase, and I realized I think the first 2 years of having an online business is basically figuring out a whole bunch of technology and learning about resilience. Because I look at it now and I go, I can't believe I hired someone to create a pixel for me, because I've created hundreds of pixels since then. But I also clearly remember the first time I created a pixel myself and feeling like I was Neo in the Matrix, like I had just discovered the most technologically advanced skill that I could ever have had. And I was able to create a pixel, and I thought that was quite badass. Since then, I'm glad to say that I have come a long way in terms of my resilience around figuring out tech and understanding tech. I will also admit that it did take me a few years, but I have overcome my fear of tech when it comes to WordPress websites. I feared WordPress for a very long time. I still think that interface, when you log into the back end of your WordPress site, is so dang ugly. Like, I wish they would just make it a little bit prettier so that it just feels a bit more user friendly. But I'm glad to report that 10 years later, I am a tech badass, and I am very, very grateful for AI these days, because if I don't know how to do something, I get ChatGPT to explain it to me. And the beautiful thing about ChatGPT is it never loses patience. So I can ask the same question over and over, and it'll explain it to me in a different way every time. But so since 2015, when I started running ads, there's been some major changes on the platform, right? One of them was, back then we didn't have Business Manager. I remember we had Ads Manager, and then there was something else. I can't remember. And when they updated that, they turned it into Business Manager. And it was, I so vividly remember the joy I discovered when I learned about how effective retargeting is with ads. Like when I discovered that you can literally build little funnels with ads where you can retarget someone based on a landing page that they've been to, or based on a percentage of a video that they watched, or based on pretty much any action they took anywhere on your digital footprint. You could pretty much retarget them, and then you could retarget those retargeting audiences because the pixel worked so well and Meta had such large data sources that there actually to this day still is no other digital advertising platform that has the ability that Meta has to put ads in front of people and get them to take actions. There are other platforms that work on a little bit of a longer life cycle. But if you have a short-ish conversion time from when someone sees your ad to when they convert to your ad, there's nothing like Meta ads. Seriously, there still is nothing like it. TikTok ads do not work as well. Pinterest is different. It drives traffic. LinkedIn is for businesses, not for us selling B2C. And even YouTube ads, they work, but they work only if someone already has intent on buying. Whereas Facebook and Instagram ads is really great interruption marketing. It puts something in front of someone that they didn't even know they needed, and remind them that they actually do need it. And then they come and they join our email lists. So I remember the joy of retargeting and how much fun I had with that. The other big challenge that came with Meta Ad, that's probably been, I would say, the one thing that's had the biggest impact on not just on ads but also on my business, was the iOS update of 2021, 2022. I am a little bit of a Pollyanna in that I tend to believe bad things are never going to happen, which is not always the best way to be in life. I mean, it sure makes for better mental health, I think. But, if I think about when the pandemic hit, I only think I accepted that this is a reality deep into March 2020 when things were actually really shutting down. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a real thing. This is gonna happen, because I just refuse to believe that bad things are gonna happen, and that's just how my brain is. So I never think Meta could do something that would negatively impact our businesses, or Apple would do something to Meta that would impact our businesses. And today I'm smarter. Today I know that I need to put Pollyanna aside for a minute and make sure I mitigate risk. But back then I thought, oh, iOS, shmyOS, this is not going to be a big deal. And turns out it was a big deal. And it kind of unfolded slowly. And I think that's why, here I am in 2024 looking back going, oh, that was a big deal. But if you asked me if it was a big deal in the middle of 2022, I would have said, nah, we're riding the wave. We didn't ride the wave. The wave rode us. The wave rode us hard. The wave rode us, when you've been in the ocean all day and you've had a few rough and tumbles, and your nose and your sinuses are rinsed out. And at night, I remember so well, when I was a kid, I'd spend the whole day swimming in the ocean. And when I closed my eyes at night, I would still feel that rolling effect. That's about what Meta did or what Apple did to us when they introduced the iOS effect, the iOS updates that blinded the pixel completely. And Meta was 100% unprepared for it. even though Apple said for a year that they're going to do it. I think probably Zuckerberg has a Pollyanna problem as well. But I am glad to say that Meta figured it out. They introduced Conversions API fairly quickly, which helped. And now they are being more proactive. They have learned from their mistakes too. And they're taking the ability of the platform to put the right ad in front of the right person with the right creative a lot more seriously. And they are also the other part of this that they're trying to achieve and failing at miserably is to make it easier for us mere mortals, ding dongs who are challenged by tech sometimes, to figure out the platform. And I say that as, someone who, like, I have a team of people who set up ads on a daily basis. So I have the privilege of not needing to be in there every single day, but I do every now and then. And I was literally recording like a video of how to set up lead form ads the other day. And it's a mess, even for me. And I know what's going on in there. And I'm like, Meta, why are you asking me these questions? And why are you guiding me this way? And what's happening here? And why are you doing this? And so even for someone with 10 years of experience who knows my way around the ads manager, I will admit that learning to set up ads, yeah, there is a tech learning curve. Now, of course, if you learn it from me, you have fun when you do it and you get step by step of everything, right? But if you're trying to figure it out on your own, I get it. It can be challenging, okay? So what Meta is trying to do is they're trying to make it easier, but actually what they're doing is, instead of making it easier, they're just pushing us into uh, uh, things that they want us to do. So they're saying they're making it easier by automating how we set up ads. But I think that is just, I'm sorry to say, BS. For We're just going to force you not to make your own decisions by making the decisions for you and taking away the control that you have over who sees your ad and what that ad looks like. So unfortunately, they have blended the AI abilities that they're introducing with Advantage Plus suite of products with this forced way of making us set up the ads, which I wish they didn't do that. But nonetheless, Meta is taking action to improve the results we see from our ads on their platforms, and they're taking back control of the ability to optimize our ads. What I mean by that is, when we solely relied on the pixel for feedback to our ad accounts on who is clicking on our ads and who's converting to leads and who's signing up for our webinars and who's buying our courses, that pixel, that's what we call third-party data. So that means people are on they're a couple of steps removed from where they started from, and the pixel is sending data from these couple of steps removed. So in other words, a thank you page, it's 2 steps removed, right? It's third party data, and it's data based on someone else's technology. So based on, let's say it's a landing page, it's sitting on someone else's platform, right? It's someone else's technology. It's not Meta's technology. So let's say your landing pages are built on WordPress, then it is a integration between the pixel and WordPress that sends this information back to the algorithm, which allows the algorithm to optimize third-party data, right? First-party data is whatever people do on the platform, on Meta. So I am the party and I am having a party on Meta, and Meta can see exactly what I'm doing because it is looking at first-party data. And the reason this third-party data is an issue is because we don't want to be tracked everywhere we go online by other businesses, right? Sometimes we want to keep things private. You don't necessarily want Meta to know everything you've just Googled, okay? Sometimes you do. I love it when they figure out that I like buying shoes. But I don't so much like it when I am searching things that are more private, which is also why I want to tell you that you can always use incognito mode in Chrome if you want to just quickly block a few cookies from tracking you. So Meta is taking steps to ensure that our ads continue to be put in front of the right people, that our creatives are optimized for action. So, in other words, different people respond to different creatives, and they're changing the way our creatives look based on individual actions that people take. And then they're also updating how they determine where the best place is to place our ads. So, before we dive into exactly what this Advantage Plus AI suite of products are, I just want to explain to you, you understand first party and third party data now, right? And you understand the difference between Meta being able to track us on our Facebook or Instagram apps or on desktop browsers where we have Facebook and Instagram open and we're inside their platforms versus their ability to track us once we click through to a landing page or once we buy something, once we're checkout, going through a checkout process. So before we dive in, I just also want to explain to you the difference between on-platform actions that people take and off-platform actions. On-platform actions are what I would refer to as top of the funnel actions. And when I'm talking about top of the funnel, I'm not necessarily talking about your business funnel or your launch funnel. I'm talking about your ad funnel, right? So your ad funnel basically starts at the top of the funnel with some form of first, it's an impression. That's the first thing. That's the highest thing that's up in your funnel, impression. The next thing is someone who has had an impression needs to engage. So engagement is the second level of the funnel. Now we're going down. We're moving down this funnel. Once people have engaged, the next thing they can do is they can click, or they can watch a percentage of your video, or they can like the video, or they can comment, or they can share it. And that is your on-platform ad funnel. You can see how there's a lot of actions at the top where there's impressions made. And then by the time you get down, further down this funnel, we're clicking to go to landing pages, and there will be a very small percentage of people who saw your ad who actually clicks on it. And to be perfectly honest, the standard benchmark for link click-through rate is 1%. So about 1% of those people who had an impression of your ad are going to click through. And all of those actions that I just mentioned, there are top of funnel on platform actions. Then we have off platform actions, things that happen once people go outside of Facebook or Instagram. And some examples of those would be someone going to your landing page, adding their email address, their name and their email address in there for your lead magnet, and then landing on your thank you page. Those are your off-platform actions, and they are what I would say those are sort of middle of the funnel actions, and then fancy retargeting I would call bottom of the funnel actions. But you need some way to understand how to optimize your ads for both on-platform actions and off-platform actions. And in the past, before all this iOS shenanigans, Facebook pretty much mostly cared about off-platform actions. And the Pixel did a great job, and we used third-party data, and it was a big party, right? And then iOS happened and all that third party stuff went away and the privacy laws came in and Meta's ability to see what people do once they're off platform became a lot more limited. And so what Meta is trying to do with this new model that they call Advantage Plus AI suite of products. They call it the Advantage Plus AI suite of products. What they're trying to do with this is they are trying to use AI and computer learning to improve those on platform results for us faster. And they are doing this at 3 different levels. The first level is they're doing it at audience targeting level. So we have Advantage Plus audience targeting. And you may have already heard me talk about this in the past. I have done some other podcast episodes for you. And I also wrote an extensive blog post that you can read at thelaunchlounge.com/advantage_audience. So, what is Advantage Plus audiences? Advantage Plus audiences is Meta's way of using AI learning and computer based models to put our ads in front of much, 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 much larger audiences than we're used to. And instead of the old way where we told Meta we are looking for a woman between 35 and 55 who is interested in Marie Forleo and Amy Porterfield and Social Media Examiner, now they're saying they don't want to know that. They don't want to know that. Don't give me as little information as possible. And they're saying we are going to put your ad in front of as many people as possible. And our computers are going to learn who to continue putting your ad in front of based on people's reactions, based on people's interactions with both your ad creative and the placement that it was put on. The benefit of this is Meta is making a lot more impressions for our ads. So our CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, I see that drastically coming down when we use Advantage Plus audiences. And I see our ads getting placed in so many places, in so many different ways, in front of so many different people, which is a good thing when we are trying to figure out where are these pockets of people that we want. Ideally, when you use Advantage Plus audiences, you may want to identify a few different groups of your ideal customers, right? So if I was going to set up some Advantage Plus audiences, I might just make a suggestion to Facebook to say women between 35 and 55 who are business owners. That would be one group, right? Maybe another one I would say women 35, 55, or even just women, right? Just women. Or it could be not women, just women and men, people, right? Depends on who you target. And I might just say who are interested in something super vague like learning, education, learning, just that, and see what happens. Because as soon as they start putting my ad in front of the people that I suggested, what happens is the AI uses those top of funnel actions, that engagement, people who are clicking, people who are watching the video, people who are reading the copy, to then optimize who else gets to see our ad. So then it has nothing further to do with that interest that you put in there. It has everything to do with who took the action that will move people along further down the funnel. So if if we're making millions and millions of impressions and thousands of those people engaged with the ad, then some of the people who engaged will end up clicking. And so the learning continues as Meta continues to put our ads in front of more and more people. And as people start to take more and more of these actions, it continues to learn. And as that learning comes down the bottom, down further down the funnel, so people start clicking, by then the quality of the learning is better than what it was when it started just by making impressions. And so now it's learning who's clicking, who's clicking, who's clicking, and then putting it in more and more and more people's feeds who are likely to click and who looks similar to the people who have already clicked. And that is how Advantage Plus audience targeting works. However, Meta has not yet gotten really good at defining these audiences or at finding a sweet spot between the controls that we want to have in place versus the lack of control that they need for this AI to optimize. And so you need to set up your advertising settings in your account so that you prevent Advantage Plus audience targeting to just put your ad in front of anyone in the entire world. And if you go to the launchlounge.com/advantage_audiences, I have a step-by-step guide there for how you can set up your advertising settings so that you are not at a disadvantage when Meta uses Advantage Plus audience targeting in your account, but so that you can control which countries your ads go to, roughly which age group, you can roughly, I say roughly, and roughly genders, right? So, but you still maybe a little bit want to control some of those things. Like definitely you want to be able to control the countries that sees your ads. Today's episode is brought to you by Your First 10K Course Launch, the no overwhelm guide to converting your expertise into income. If you ever catch yourself thinking, I know I could help so many people if I could just figure out how to profitably launch my online course, you're not alone. Every day, brilliant creative entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants keep their knowledge locked in a one-on-one service because turning it into a scalable course feels too overwhelming. Here's the good news. Creating your first 10K course doesn't require you to become a marketing genius. I've packed everything you need from packaging your expertise to launching with confidence into this no overwhelm step-by-step guide. Head over to thelaunchlounge.com/10K to download your copy today. Don't let another day go by with your expertise stuck in time for money services. Your future students are waiting. And now back to the show. So that is Advantage Plus audiences. The second Advantage Plus product that is in this Advantage Plus suite of products that Meta has is placements, Advantage Plus placements. Now, I have always been a fan of automatic placement. I've always selected automatic placement, and I teach my students to use automatic placement even before this AI stuff. There's a couple of little settings that you also need to change because there's a couple of places that, that just you don't even want your ad to show there. And that is in my blog post, thelaunchlounge.com/advantage_audience. You'll find out which settings to change in your ad settings to optimize placements as well. Now, Advantage Plus placements really just means that, again, Meta's using this AI model, and it starts with their very, very, very top of the funnel actions. So again, impressions. So basically Meta is going to make a whole bunch of impressions on Reels, on stories, on Marketplace, on Audience Network, on the news feed, in both Facebook and Instagram. And later on, they'll start doing it in Threads as well. I've heard they're talking about putting ads in Threads. So there's really a wide range of different places where people interact with Facebook or Meta as a product where your ad can appear. And what they're trying to do with Advantage Plus placement is really identify which placements work the best for your creative and for your ads, because everything is kind of it has to be a match between your audience and your message, right? So the placement is really the bridge between the audience and the message. And if they can use AI to find big audiences, and they can use AI to figure out which placements are the best, then they're also going to use AI to update and change and edit our creative, our ads, what people see in those different placements. And that is the third Advantage Plus suite of products that Meta has introduced, and that is Advantage Plus Creatives. You'll see when you set up your ads that Meta shows you, then they have done this for a while, even before Advantage Plus came out. They show you what the ad creative that you uploaded will look like in all the different placements. Now, we have traditionally created most of our ads for the newsfeed placement because, believe it or not, the newsfeed, especially in my business, Facebook newsfeed, is still one of the most successful places to place ads. But when we create let's say we create an image that is the size, the proportion of that image is 4:5, which is what we usually use for newsfeed images, is if that goes in stories, it looks weird. It looks completely weird. It totally looks weird. There was a time where they didn't even put image ads in reels or in stories, actually. So if you only uploaded an image, then your ad wouldn't even show up in stories. And nowadays, even if you upload just an image, they will kind of convert it into a video. Or they'll create it in such a way that it kind of looks like a video. So our creatives get optimized by this AI Advantage Plus creatives as well. Now, here's the thing. When Meta has complete free reign of editing, smooshing, creating different combinations, weirdly altering our images and our videos, and they have complete free reign of rewriting our copy, editing our copy, changing our copy, using different copy, their own copy. What comes out and the other end is not always that great. And I have found that they are not yet really super great at all this AI creative updates. Some of them I do like, some of them I allow. But again, I want to be in control of that. And luckily, they don't force us to just accept all of their edits. They let us change things and update things and make little changes and use the Advantage Plus creative options where it suits us. And so you are in control of that and you get to play around with that. My best advice for you is still create an image or a video. Actually create your images 4:5 for the newsfeed, and then create one option that is sized for the stories placement. It can be the same image that's just been resized. And if you optimize it for stories, then it's also going to appear well on reels. Just make sure you don't have a lot of text at the bottom of that image or at the bottom of that video, because the reels actually, there's parts of the reels layout that covers the text in our ads, that covers the larger proportion of the text in our ads at the bottom of the screen than there is in stories. But if you create one image ad and you create one at 4:5 size for the newsfeed, that will appear well in most places. And if you create one alternative option for stories and you upload that to the stories placement, then it'll automatically use that new image for reels as well. So I like to have those two different variations of the same creative, actually, for newsfeed and for the other placements. So and then play around with Advantage Plus creatives, because some of it really is nice, but then some of it, sometimes the copy changes they make, just it blows my mind. Anyway, blows my mind. So funny. Anyway, so what are some of the benefits of this whole Advantage Plus situation that Meta's got going on? One of the key benefits is real-time data. There was a real lag in our accounts being able to optimize. If you've been running ads for a while, you'll remember we used to set up our ads and say, don't make any changes for 3 to 5 days, or even up to 7 days. When iOS was at its height, we said, don't touch it for 7 days. Because it took so long for the algorithm to get information fed back from the pixel and from the third-party data that, by the time our ads optimize, our launch is over. It was ridiculous. Now we have access to more real-time data. With understanding the difference between the top of funnel actions like impressions, engagements, likes, comments, shares, and then those bottom of funnel actions that happen off page, you can imagine that with Meta using their AI to find audiences, and Meta using their AI to find the right placement, and Meta using their AI to change our creative to match the placement to find the right audience, that there's a lot of data getting collected on those top of funnel actions very, very quickly. And that means our ads learn faster. It also means we can scale faster. And it means that we are not as impacted by the privacy limitations as we were in 2022, when the pixel and those third-party data tracking tools became a bit crippled. It means that AI is actively working on every level to get us engagement, to get us clicks on our ads, and to adapting our audience, our placement, and our creative to find the best match for our ads. That means scaling winning creatives and scaling winning audiences and scaling winning placements can happen faster without having to wait for that delay in the feedback from the pixel. So you can literally within 3 days choose your audience that's the winner, choose your placement that's the winner, choose your creatives that's the winner, and just scale the living lights out of it. What are the drawbacks of Advantage Plus suite of products? The first one is Meta wants ad setup to be easier, but like I said, my opinion, they've made it harder, because what they do is they force us into these automated choices that they've already made for us. And we only have two choices. Either you're all in with Advantage Plus, or you're out, and then they're still going to try to force you to be in, which is terrible, because when you choose manual setup, which I recommend, because then you can still be in control of a little bit more in control of your audiences and your creatives. When you choose manual setup, they actually try to push you into Advantage Plus so many times that setting up your ad becomes trickier and trickier. And I think that's why they're saying, oh, their Advantage Plus is designed to make the setup process easier. That's not the truth. I think they've just designed it so that we have no choice. We choose Advantage Plus setup because then they eliminate the limitations we try to put on them in order to control who sees our ads and what they look like. So I'm not a fan. The other drawback is limited control over targeting. Advantage Plus automates so much of our audience targeting, which can be restrictive if you have specific audience segments in mind. So for advertisers with precise targeting needs, or if you have really precise retargeting ads that you want to run, that lack of manual control completely eliminates all of your ability to manage anything and to retarget anything. The problem is particularly relevant for retargeting. For example, if you've just run a bunch of ads to a webinar and you have spent tons of money to flood your webinar with cold leads, you will have a hard time retargeting those people who came to your landing page but didn't opt in, which is something we used to love to do. And then you will have a really hard time retargeting people who've been to your sales page but didn't buy. That is kind of almost going away, which is really, really sad. And that is unfortunately not Meta's fault. That is the fault of Apple and all the privacy regulators, which I get. Privacy, it's all important and I love it too, but unfortunately as advertisers, there's a drawback to us. So when someone didn't complete their purchase or they didn't complete their opt-in, it becomes harder for us to put our ads in front of them. And I think as Meta relies more and more on Advantage Plus, we're going to lose the ability to retarget people specifically based on specific pages that they've been on. Another drawback, and I don't think this is a major drawback, but I see some people talk about it, is the risk of overspending. If Meta decides your ad is doing really well today to a specific audience in a placement with a creative, they might just run a lot of impressions on that place. Now, I always teach everyone to put daily spending limits on their accounts. And that is particularly important for your account security, because if your account gets hacked, or somebody gets hold of your account that shouldn't be in your account, they can spend an enormous amount of money very fast on your credit card without you even knowing it. So put spending limits on your account, please. The other drawback is the limited creative input. Advantage Plus automatically selects which ad versions to show, and then it optimizes those creatives, which means it optimize, but read change. But for advertisers who prefer a hands-on, like A/B test with their creative, or like course creators who run ads over long periods of time. We're not like e-commerce businesses who, we put an ad in front of someone today and they buy the thing tomorrow. We're not like that. We run list building ads, and we run, we build audiences for a long time before we do our live launches. Or we have evergreen funnels where we need that stability in our ability to optimize for the long run. So it takes away some of that control that we have when we want to do A/B testing of headlines or copy or images or video, because they just basically smoosh all of our creative into new things and put that in front of people and hope something will stick. And the last drawback, in my opinion, is this reliance on machine learning. Machines don't know who the best leads are. Machines don't know who is going to become a hot lead, become someone who opens our emails, become someone who engages with us, especially if the first most important 5 actions someone takes is those top of funnel actions. Just because someone engaged with an ad, just because someone clicked on an ad, does not mean they're going to be a great lead. And so we want to be aware that we still do need a degree of control over this. So what are you going to do if you want to thrive in this Advantage Plus AI suite that Meta is rolling out faster than I'm comfortable with? First thing you're going to do is set up your account, set up your advertising settings. Go to thelaunchlounge.com/advantage_audience and follow the steps that I have there for you to set up your account settings so that Meta cannot go haywire, completely haywire, with your Advantage Plus audiences, so that you still have a degree of control over placement and audiences. Then set up your account for the best conversion tracking. Make sure you have Conversions API set up on your account, and make sure when you are setting up your conversion ads, you're using standard events, not custom conversions. Now, I still set up custom conversions and I select standard events when I set up those custom conversions, but when I'm setting up an ad, I choose a standard event as my conversion event. The next thing you can do is keep your creatives simple. Really super simple. Focus on the main benefit of your ad and create a video option and an image option, and then create one option for the news feed and one option that is optimized for stories and reels. Super simple. Create simple ad creatives. And the next thing you can do is focus on the most important data. What are the most important data? First of all, those top of funnel actions people take on your ads on platform. The most important one to focus on is link click through rate. The rate at which people who see your ad are clicking to go to your landing page. That's got to be above 1%. If it's not above 1%, start over, do something else, make a change. Focus on your landing page conversion rate. That is not a number you're going to find in the ads manager. That's a number you have to work out. And it is basically the number of people who became leads over the number of people who saw your page times 100, which means that's your percentage. And you want that to be above 45%. So make sure your landing page converts if you're running ads. Use a different landing page for paid ads than you use for your organic traffic. This is, I wish I could, I wish maybe I should tattoo that on my arm or something, because I feel like this is the simplest thing that we can all do. It's easy to do this. It's the simplest thing, and it will save everyone so much worry about, did I make money or did I not make money? You create one landing page that's on your website, that's on your socials. You duplicate that page and give it and change the name slightly. I usually would just put an FB at the end of the URL. And then the form on that paid ad page, the page that you send traffic to that you pay for, you tag those people as source being paid ads. Because how are you going to know if you're spending money on list building today and you plan to launch in 3 months or 6 months? How are you going to know whether the people who came from paid ads actually turned into sales if you don't have them tagged in your CRM as having come from paid ads originally? So please duplicate your page, your landing page, and tag people as the source being paid ads. It is going to save you so much worries after you launch when you can actually show money that you made for the money that you put in. And finally, keep calm and carry on, right? Keep calm and carry on. Set up your advertising settings and test more. Be engaged with your ads. Learn in real time. Use A/B tests as much as you need to learn what works. A/B test your audiences. You can do that with, if you use campaign budget optimization, you use 2 cold audiences, and that is your A/B test, right? Test placements. So try Advantage Plus placement options and try manual placement options and see which one is best. And then test your creatives. The most important parts of your creatives that you need to test is your hook, which is often something that goes on the creative, on the image, or on the video. It's also the headline, which is that bold piece of copy that goes below your ad if it's in the news feed. And then that very first line in your copy, the very first line, the one that you can see half of in Reels and that you can see the first couple of lines in the news feed. Those are your most important parts of the copy that you want to A/B test to see which ones get the most of those higher up in the funnel actions, the engagements and the clicks. And don't worry, you can't break it. Like, you literally cannot break your ad account. And if you have a spending limit on it, you can't outspend yourself. So I know, if I wish someone told me that initially when I started, because it would have saved me so much fear of tech. All right, let's land this plane. Most importantly, I want you to make ads that speaks to your ideal customers' highest pain points and their deepest desires, and that focuses mainly on the benefits that you have in your offer, whether it is a lead magnet offer, a webinar offer, video series offer, or a sales offer. Make ads that speaks to your ideal customers' deepest pain points and deepest desires, and ensure that you always focus on the benefits. Show the benefits. That is how you are going to navigate this new Advantage Plus era of meta ads, and how you are going to soar and use AI to your advantage. I will be back next week, Tuesday. Hope you have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Before you go, if today's episode helped you, imagine how many more lives could be transformed if other creators, coaches, and experts found these strategies too. Your shares and reviews help more course creators discover how to get their knowledge out into the world. Please take a moment to rate the show and leave a quick review. When you do, we get to reach more people and we make a bigger impact together. Because when more people who help people succeed, the world becomes a better place. Thank you.